Anthony Davis is actually good again. To be honest, I'm not that surprised, but the impact he's had on the Lakers and their success, yeah, that's a little shocking to me. Anthony Davis is playing like a top 5 player in the NBA, and he's been doing it pretty consistently this season. I've consistently said that I think if Anthony Davis can stay healthy, he's a top 5 player in the NBA. This season, he's averaging 28, 13, and 2, while shooting 59% from the field. It's no secret, he has the stats of an MVP caliber player, and just watching him in games, you can tell he's a lot more dominant than he's been in the past. Watching this version of Anthony Davis kind of reminds me back in 2020, and it's not a coincidence I bring up 2020. The Lakers are replicating the offense and the lineups they ran in the bubble that led to an NBA title. Now, say what you want about the bubble not being a real ring and a Mickey Mouse this and whatever, but the point is they won the championship and they were pretty dominant. And I remember 2 key factors about the Lakers in that playoff run that really helped them out. One of the biggest factors was the way the Lakers were utilizing Anthony Davis. For one, they used him at the center position. Now, Anthony Davis has primarily played the power forward role. However, I've seen times where he switched to center, and they did that in the bubble. The Lakers would run multiple lineups where Anthony Davis would play center, and they would have other guys play power forward. Now, as we obviously know, the Lakers would win in 2020, so you would think the Lakers would try to use Anthony Davis more at the center position. I mean, sure, he got injured multiple times, but that's something you'll just have to deal with. Now, if you're a Lakers fan, you're gonna get pretty frustrated with what I'm about to say. But imagine knowing the secret to unlocking Anthony Davis's potential. This magic thing that can make Anthony Davis play like an MVP caliber player. But Anthony Davis says he doesn't want to play center. Now, I'm not gonna tell you Anthony Davis not wanting to play center is the reason why the Lakers have been struggling, at least in years past. Obviously, injuries are a big deal and lineups just not working and trying to figure out where people should play. Anthony Davis last season only played 40 games. LeBron dealt with injuries, and Russell Westbrook was not exactly effective last season. So why am I bringing up the past? Well, it seems like the Lakers have finally figured out that magic secret that they knew in 2020, and Anthony Davis is playing a lot more center. Now, I'm not going to tell you this is the only reason, as we're going to talk about some of the other ones in this video, but the Lakers have been killing it this year. Well, at least now they are. In the first 12 games of the season, the Lakers were 2-10. They weren't good, and everyone and their mom was complaining about them, as was I and multiple NBA YouTubers, and rightfully so. It seemed like there was no return for this team, but in their last games they are 8-2 and they've looked very dominant, and Anthony Davis is obviously a really big factor. I've been saying this for the longest time, but if Anthony Davis can just stay healthy, he's a really good player, and I'm finally glad I'm seeing this come to light. Now, I don't like the Lakers because I'm a Suns fan, but even I can admit the Lakers are playing well, and Anthony Davis is the reason why. Now, I kind of didn't go in on this point earlier, but there's another reason why the Lakers are doing so well. Now, obviously, we talked about Anthony Davis, but what I didn't talk about is the role that he's playing. See, this isn't LeBron's team anymore. This team belongs to Anthony Davis now. When Anthony Davis plays that #1 option role for the Lakers, I've noticed they're overall a way better team. And some might think, wait, wasn't Anthony Davis already the #1 option on the Lakers? Well, no. If you asked a lot of people, they would have told you LeBron was the #1 option on this team. Even to start off the season, it seemed like the Lakers were trying to force that, yet it just wasn't working. His shooting was terrible. He just wasn't the same LeBron we all knew. Also, this man is damn near 40. I know LeBron James is known for beating Father Time, but eventually Father Time gets to everyone, and LeBron is no exception.
I'm undefeated.
We'll see about that.
Both have done some nice things. James shot way off the mark.
I'm not saying he's god awful right now, but if you wanted him to lead a team to the playoffs like the Lakers, who are right now trying to do that, I just don't think it's sustainable with LeBron James, especially at this age. And I think the Lakers finally learned that, so they decided to use LeBron as a second option and make Anthony Davis their primary scorer, which obviously Anthony Davis being the #1 option has led to a lot more opportunities for AD to be great. If you guys have made it this far into the video, if you could leave a like on this and subscribe to the channel, I'd very much appreciate it. If Anthony Davis makes this 3, you have to subscribe.
Davis all alone. Hits a 3.
Hey man, I don't make the rules. Despite this being an Anthony Davis video, I feel like we're talking about the Lakers' success, so I kind of want to just talk about Westbrook for like a minute. Look, all I'm going to say is the Lakers utilizing Russell Westbrook off the bench was a very smart move by Darvin Ham. I'm impressed with this, to be honest, and I think it's going to help the Lakers going forward because he's been playing pretty well. In fact, he's statistically the best player coming off the bench at the point guard position. Hey, all I'm saying is 6-man Russ. Now, I want to go back to Anthony Davis because I cannot say this obvious enough, but I think he is the main reason why the Lakers have been so dominant and they look like a legit playoff team. Now, it's unfortunate for the Lakers that they put themselves in a really bad position where them making the playoffs is going to take a lot more effort compared to other teams. Their margin for error is very slim. They're technically not even 500 yet. I don't see them ending off as a top seed in the West, but I can definitely imagine this team sneaking into the playoffs and actually being pretty dominant. And I'm just gonna be honest, if the Lakers can continue to play this way, I don't want to play them in the playoffs. And as a Suns fan, which his team is probably gonna end as the 1 or 2 seed, maybe third worst case scenario, if the Lakers are continuing to dominate the way they are, if Anthony Davis is playing like the MVP, if LeBron is playing consistent and Russ is playing like an amazing 6-man, and Lonnie Walker, yo, don't even get me started on Lonnie Walker. If the Lakers are dominating as much as they are right now, I would hate to play this team. What the Lakers are going through right now kind of reminds me of what Boston went through last year, except it took Boston like February for them to finally figure things out. Luckily, we're not too deep in the season. We're about 25% of the way done, and the Lakers are finally starting to figure things out. It's gonna take more than what they're doing, but they're definitely on the right track. Now, I want to ask this question about Anthony Davis because it's the unfortunate reality. Is this sustainable? No questions asked, when Anthony Davis is healthy, he is amazing. He's a top 5 player in the NBA, and he's one of the best, not only at scoring, but as an interior defender, even as a perimeter defender. And obviously, he's making a very big impact on his team. But the unfortunate reality is Anthony Davis is literally made of paper. To be honest, I'm scared that he's gonna get injured again. I'm scared that he's gonna be playing like the MVP, but he's gonna fall weirdly and something's gonna end his season. However, there is hope because I've seen multiple clips of Anthony Davis falling and tripping and nothing really happened. Now, if this was any other player, I wouldn't really be saying these things, but we have to remember this is Anthony Davis, someone who's constantly injured, and especially now he's playing a way bigger role than he has these past couple seasons. I am a little worried for him. Now, I want to end off with one last question that I'm definitely going to be addressing in the next video. Is Anthony Davis better than Giannis? No. A lot of people are saying that Anthony Davis has been better than Giannis when it comes to the offensive side and the defensive side, but I think that's just completely false. I know this is an Anthony Davis video, and I've stayed on topic of this for the most part, but I feel like this is something that people are constantly talking about. I think this got brought up because Anthony Davis outdueled Giannis by like 4 points, and the Lakers ended up winning that game, which, by the way, that was one hell of a game. But many people are already writing off Giannis and saying Anthony Davis is better than him, that Giannis is no longer top 5, all these dumbass things. Now, my buddy 2for1 said something about Anthony Davis, and honestly, I think this is pretty fair. Now, even though the video is probably called like Anthony Davis is back or something like this, I want to give it 2 more months before we finally say officially Anthony Davis is a top 5 player, he's back, and all these other things, because I want to see if it's sustainable. With no injuries, I think it absolutely is, but he's gonna have to do more than just have a couple good games for me to say he's better than Giannis, because if I'm being honest, get it? Anthony Davis's peak right now is a top 5 player in the NBA. Giannis is the best fucking player in the NBA. There's no competition, and about 96% of people agree with me. So on the next episode of Spex Media, we're gonna be talking about how people are already writing off Giannis because of one game, which to me is fucking crazy.